Welcome to another episode of Sneaker Convo. I'm your host, Gary, aka In Gary We Trust. And gotta remind everyone, this show is literally about me, and I have a couple homies on the show that love to talk about sneakers and fashion. We probably care about it more than the average person. So I want to definitely get into. I have a special guest here with me. Definitely have someone I can call one of my closest friends, one of my best friends, an older brother I did not ask for. We got the homie in. What's up, man?
I'm good, bro. How are you, man? How are you?
Doing good. And I have to give a full disclaimer, is that this is probably a face you will see on the show numerous times. Or how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling good, man. You know, this year's for me been about improving myself, improving my health, and improving my wealth. So,
okay.
You know, almost finishing up the first quarter, and we're off to a good start. So
that's good, man.
I just want to say, man, I'm proud of you, bro. You know, you have been talking about this for a while, and life is about progress. Life is just about trying to improve, and I feel, the steps that you've taken to get to this point, you should be proud of yourself. But also at the same time too, bro, it's about ebbs and flows and going with it and just kind of seeing you go. And now, I know you got to be really, really excited to be able to do something like this. And for me to be on the other side, a lot of people don't know that we communicate often.
Yeah.
We communicate almost daily.
Mm.
And just to kind of see your progression and see you get to this point. And more than anything, bro, I can just tell from watching, the episodes, how happy you are doing it.
Thanks, man, bro.
I can literally see it in just how you go about it. So just be,
I appreciate that.
Should be proud of yourself.
I appreciate that, man, because you're definitely one of the people in my corner that say, "Yo, man, stop being a bitch and do that shit."
Hey, bro, your life is in your hands. So at the end of the day, bro, ain't nothing stopping you from doing anything except yourself.
Bro, that's a fact, man. And this is definitely going to be one of my favorite episodes for sure. And let's get right into it. Let's talk about the fits that we're wearing. I'll talk about mine first, and I'm gonna get into yours. So getting into my fit, I have on the gray brim, good brim, Marlins 97 cap, new era. I always have a filthy T-shirt on. Shouts out to Jerry. I have a weak timepiece on today, the Apple Watch.
Oh wow, you got an Apple Watch on.
Yeah, the small
gold
one.
Timex is retired.
No. I wore that last episode.
Damn, bro.
I got on the black Dickies pants, and definitely one of my favorite sneakers in my collection for sure is the Air Jordan 4 White Cement. I believe these came out in 2016, around February at the time. Really good quality. They've replicated this sneaker numerous times. I still think this is the best one. The quality was good, and this is actually the first time in a while where I saw Jordan sit on shelves. So, this is one of my favorites.
Is that Nike Air on the back?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, those did. I think the price tag was high.
The price tag was like, I think $200, and that kind of spooked a lot of people.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit higher, I remember. But no. It's a good shoe, man. It was kind of easy to get, but looking back.
And this was the first shoe I actually hit on like a Foot Locker app.
Yeah, bro. It was readily available. I think I was managing finishline at the time, and I remember those kind of sitting around for a little bit, just like a couple days. Mm-hmm. Wasn't anything crazy like months, but like
which was
literally over the weekend.
Oh, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into those days for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know how I feel about the cutoff on the Dickie pant, but
it's been my little skater wave, my little Cali wave that's going on.
Yeah, I just don't know how I feel about it on the Jordan. But and then did you mention the Supreme sock?
Oh yeah.
Oh. Even Siri knows it's trash. Seriously, I didn't understand that.
All right, so I am wearing Supreme socks, and actually that was like a conversation we're going to have a little bit later. But let's break down your fit.
Oh, yeah, man. So I'll start from the top up, too. I got this embroidered hat all the way around. A lot of the old school logos here. PlayStation controller. This is embroidered by, it was I forget the name, but they changed it now to like, I think it's called like Everything We Do Is Limited or something like that.
Okay.
I think it was, but I don't remember.
Black owned.
But the black one, I'll get into that. This T-shirt right here. It's a baseball tee by a company called Let's Do Better. It's a New York-based brand, and they take I think 10% of the proceeds and invest in black communities and stuff like that.
So.
Wore the baseball tee because World Baseball Classic's going on right now. A lot of people, it don't get the same attention obviously as as the
like,
World Cup, but I'm a baseball guy, so
okay.
thrifted jean. I think these are chaps with
Chaps.
Ralph Lauren, which is a weird collab that I don't know how it happened. And then last is just the Pata, Air Max One.
That was a good shoe.
Which,
You were big on that shoe.
bro, these were a gift from my brother, man.
That's a fact. Shouts out to the Shred Man.
Yeah, the Shredder, man. Yeah, these were a gift from him. Probably been one of my more, when it comes to the streetwear stuff, probably the shoe I've been wearing the most like lately. I think it's nice, easy to wear. If I'm not mistaken, I think Pata's black owned too.
Yeah.
But anytime I'm on here, you'll see me in probably a different black owned top, black owned T-shirt, because I want to try to spread awareness and make sure you tag them. Let's do better.
Of course, man. I try to do my part here and there.
Of course, it's easy too. Shout out to Filthy. Shout out to Jerry.
One of the topics I want to get into as far as sneakers. So this whole convo is really going to be centered around just retroing sneakers.
Okay.
So obviously what the retro means, when a sneaker comes out, it's a certain year, and it comes out probably 5 to 10 years later. They always call it, hey, we're retroing it, we're bringing it back.
Of course.
And sometimes when a sneaker comes back, it doesn't always come back as planned or expected as it was back in the past.
Yeah.
So one of the first sneakers that actually that's coming out that has a lot of hype on it is the Black Toe Air Jordan 1 Low, which is getting a lot of praise and a little bit of hate too. Not as much hate as I thought it would, but pretty much the Air Jordan 1 Low Black Toe is coming out again. But this time it's actually coming out with a black tongue, which I know is to the average person, the day-to-day person they're gonna be like, oh, who cares? But to obviously people who really analyze sneakers and love sneakers are gonna be like, yo, this is y'all changing the whole format with this. Just changing the center.
True, bro. Nah, man. I mean, it's what you see from the top.
Exactly. First, I'm gonna give my opinion on it. So, with me, I actually don't think it's that big of a deal to me, because the older I get, I realize that I love sneakers that have it's really, I know it's a color blocking thing. That's really what matters. But the black tongue, I realize I can wear my blue jeans easy. There will be no jean stain on the tongue for me.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure Nike thought about that. And this is technically the Tik Tok era where everybody is a little bit more into fashion than they were. So they just thought about it they can wear whatever type of jean. There's going to be less jean stains. Maybe this shoe will get more burned for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know if Nike thought that deep into it, just because of all the stuff that we've seen. I think it's just a different iteration to be able to bring out a shoe that kind of keeps the cultural impact of Nike going. Mm-hmm. To be honest, and I'm not a hater of shoes, and we'll get into some of that. I'm okay with shoes coming out and being a little different. Mm-hmm. But to me, when I seen it, the first thing I was like, oh, that's like the Jordan 1 with I literally asked is it Nike Air on the tongue or is it a Jordan logo? Because I thought that'd just be something that would sit on a shelf. Mm-hmm. The black toe to me is probably the most underrated out of all those OG color blocking.
Yeah, for sure. That's
I think
technically the home colorway.
Exactly. That was actually the one that he'd wear. It wasn't Chicago's. He was wearing black toes.
Majority of the time, yeah.
And I think black toes are actually a little underrated, in terms of the market. I understand why we all love Chicago's and we all love breads, but I've always really liked the black toe. Changing the color blocking to where you're looking at the top and it's gonna be a black tongue, to me just makes it look like again, I would expect it to be sitting on shelves as just a Jordan 1 Low.
With Jordan branding on the tongue.
Oh yeah, with Jordan branding on the tongue,
okay.
100%. Now, hey, nothing wrong with it, and we'll get into it, but I'm okay with shoes coming out and being a little different. But I think when you change something like that, my whole thing is just bring out the regular black toe then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to change something else.
But almost there. Almost
yeah. To me, there's times where it does work out, like the bread toe. Mm-hmm. The bread toe, as much as that wasn't a shoe for me.
I love that shoe.
I know you do, but
I love that shoe.
I know, but that color blocking, that color blocking works, and it just made perfect sense. I had no problems with that shoe at all. Mm-hmm. But I see that, and I'm like, y'all just doing that to do it. Just release regular. And I don't want to sound like the OG hater who's like
the old head.
Anything new is bad. No, it don't work like that. I just look at that and it just don't. It's not. It just don't look like the same type of shoe no more. People underestimate. Again, what the color of that tongue is what you see as the wearer of that shoe.
That is true. You get the bird's eye view.
You get the bird's eye view of that. That completely changes it. And again, I think if I see someone wearing that, I'm just gonna think. I'm gonna look at it from the top, oh yeah. Jordan 1 low that they bought at Finish Line.
That's the 2023 pair, huh?
That's a 2023 pair, exactly.
I think like with that shoe, like getting away from it, like just wrapping up on it, like I just think that Nike was like, oh, this is like an easy home run.
Yeah.
We know that Jordan ones are selling. Jordan logo on the tongue or Nike Air logo, it's gonna sell regardless.
Right.
So I just think like that's where they looked at it. Yeah. Like one shoe that like it got previewed that is coming out May 27th. The Laney 14 is coming out again. And that shoe growing up, I didn't really care for as much, but that was one of the first sneakers I know for sure that I actually went to an actual release for. When I moved.
Really?
Yeah, because remember, I'm 25, about to be 26, so I was like around 15, 16 when they came.
Bro, has it been that long since Laney 14s came out?
I think so. Like around.
That's crazy.
Because they came out with 2014.
I sound super old right now.
Because like, bro, I went to that release. I was with my dad.
Bro, what?
Yeah, no, I wasn't even old enough to drive when that sneaker came out.
Oh my god, bro, I'm dating myself. I can't believe.
Because you were probably working at Finish Line at the time when
100%, bro. Them things kind of sad. I mean, they did come out in limited releases. Nah, I could tell you, bro.
Really, the one.
But bro, you also have to remember they came out in limited quantities. Like
that is true.
Bro, the Finish Line that I worked at was like a top 50 in terms of overall Jordan sales in the nation. So
that
like we would get a ton
because of location,
Jordan.
Of course,
bro. Of course, 100% because of location. But bro, I'm not gonna put out the figures, but we would get so much, way more shoes. I can promise y'all that Finish Line that I worked at, we would get way more shoes than y'all are even thinking that we were getting. And like Laney 14s, we probably got like 10 to 20% of what we normally get. So it was just a more limited release in terms of how many didn't come out in full size. I think back in the day, the word that would be called a quick strike.
Pretty much. Like I remember going to the mall and it was a long ass line and there was a dude, the head manager at the time, he gave me no respect because I'm like, hey yo, I'm here to pick up my pair, and he's like, bro, get your ass back in the line. Then my dad came to the gate, he was like, hey, my son trying to get a pair. All right, yo, come in. And then I'm like, yo, dad, what? He just let you in? Whatever. Yeah. But that shoe, I actually did love that sneaker the last time it came out. Because I remember it came out in 99. The original release was 99, but the second time it came out was around, I think, 2014, 2015. And that was like the black box.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
The black box era, which I think that shoe was made really good. The shape was really good. I think it replicated the OG. Yeah. Kind of close.
No, it did really well. Nubuck on the side was pretty weak.
The Nubuck was good?
Nah, I would disagree with the Nubuck
really?
Per se. Yeah, the Nubuck was kind of weak. I think that was one. But, bro, that was really bad quality Jordan times.
Yeah, because
that was that bottom of the bottom Jordan quality.
Because anything was selling.
I think it was what 2015. The year after that is when they started doing the what was the word that they used? Was it remastered?
This is technically a remastered sneaker.
No, but there was a word that Jordan Brand came out and said we're gonna have higher quality shoes.
Yeah,
and the
Laney remastered probably was the word.
Because bro, you want to know what shoe came out the same year as Laney's, or at least in the same calendar year? Was probably Ferrari 14s.
That was definitely a big shoe.
On paper, was supposed to hit, but it was just one of those shoes you got it in person, and that suede was so bad. If you look back, bro, and now look like that's a shoe that you would think would be doing really well, like in terms of obviously like people you see it and be like, oh wow, that's Laney, like that's Ferrari 14s, but you don't see it out because that shoe didn't make it that far. That shoe didn't make it to this point because the quality was bad. And Laney 14 Nubuck was also, bro, it was a stiff shoe.
I love the fact that like your perspective is so different from mine around that time because we're not that much like far apart in age.
Yeah, me and Gary are the same age in case you didn't know.
We're not that far apart.
Yeah, the same.
We're the same. But like I remember when that sneaker came out and I wore the Ferrari 14 like literally in school. I was like the dopest kid. But not to go off too much of a tangent, but the Laney 14 is like came out again. It's coming out again May 27th, but it's coming out in that high cut, which to me I don't like, but I understand it would probably do numbers today because I think as a person who's not really crazy into sneakers, I generally think the higher cut Jordan 14 looks better, in my opinion.
I agree with you 100%. I 100% agree with you, and I want to say that the Jordan 14 is, in my opinion, underrated.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I think I think it's a really, really well done shoe. If you go and you take a look at like the inspiration and like them, like what they based it on, like the car he was driving. I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting. The Jordan logo being inside,
like the carbon fiber and shit.
but the carbon fiber, but then like the Jordan logo replicating a
like Ferrari,
like
I
the
believe.
Ferrari logo.
Yeah.
To me, like I think that was all really, really cool. The
Good
shoe,
storytelling.
It's the shoe that he hit his literal last shot in a Bulls uniform, the most iconic. The most iconic shot in NBA history. So I think it's a really good shoe. I agree with you. At this point, then are we gonna retire the Jordan 14 low? Because in my if we're not, Laney is the only shoe that I would ever buy in that 14 low. And then there's also the what was the other colorway? The wheat colorway. There's a
the
word.
chutney.
The chutney. It was those
chutney?
two came out in '99. Both of those colorways came out in '99.
Yeah.
And I remember them both coming out. I didn't get chutneys, and I wasn't working at Finish Line when chutneys came out. But I agree with you. When I think of that Laney 14, to me, it was that shoes. It's kind of like it's had its own model, like the Wave Runner 700. It's when you think of it, you think of that color.
Yeah.
And I know it's not on the same level, but when I think of a Jordan 14 low, I'm going to think of the Laney. So
it
making it a high to me
blocking.
takes away from some of the lore. Because, bro, that was the first time a 14 low came out.
Yeah.
And they did it in those cool colorways, and there were lifestyle colorways. So, to be honest, I'm not against it. Like, I get it. Honestly, everything you're saying makes sense. Jordan 14 high is a better shoe. But something about the Laney 14 to me is supposed to be a low because,
Of course, I agree.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I sound like an old head, which I'm not trying to. Like, again, it's all cool, but I would rather have it in a low just for the fact that, like, that was that shoe's model.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely one of the highlights of the 14 for sure. The Laney. Would you consider it the best colorway?
No,
I would.
I
For me.
wouldn't.
I know the last shot technically
It's
is
the
supposed
last
to
shot.
be.
Yeah, bro.
But
I don't know.
For me, I think the Laney
But if you
is
want
my
to talk,
favorite.
yeah. I'm thinking of like what's the best 14, and to me, it's always
it
going to be
has
the
to
last
be the
shot.
last, so-
But the Laney to me is the most creative colorway. Like to me, what's the best 5?
Black metallic, in my opinion.
See, but the same way you saying that is the same reason why I feel like it's the last shot, like that shoe he wore. But in my opinion, just in terms of colorway, lifestyle, the grape, it's just so left field. So that's the same way I feel about the Laney.
I'm capping for sure. It's definitely the grape. I'm definitely capping.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would have to be the grape.
But you initially said black metallic. But
That's
when you
what
asked
Jordan
me,
wore.
that's why I say last shot. Same exact.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
So what another topic I want to get into as far as drops, like a release that happened today, and sorry I'm dating this episode, but the North Face collab of Supreme dropped today, and no one cared.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I don't even know if you know what it looks like.
I don't. Yeah, no, bro. Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Literally.
I'm not gonna lie.
So I really want to have a conversation. Is like, what happened to the hype of Supreme? Like, I really want to get into it. I'm gonna give my take first because like Supreme, I don't know if you guys realize Supreme in like 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, maybe. Supreme was literally larger than freaking life. Like, if you had a Supreme t-shirt, a Supreme box logo hat, you would literally look different. Like, oh shit, he knows. I don't know how he got it, but he got it. But one thing I want to talk about with Supreme is why I feel like why Supreme technically quote unquote dropped off, quote unquote, big on quote unquote. I feel like Supreme didn't change anything. I just think the people got over Supreme because of the fact is like there's so many brands today. There's so many choices of like what to buy. Like, because we're technically in the like do it your own era, and so many people have brands where I feel like it's like, oh, if I'm gonna literally spend a lot of money on Supreme, I could literally just do it on another brand that kind of does low key the same graphics in a way without the logo, of course.
I get what you're saying.
So what's your take? Like, what do you think is like people's perspective on Supreme changed over the years?
One, I mean, I would have to like think about the years, but hey, man, this is streetwear, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's gonna be ups and downs in terms of popularity. Supreme's obviously in that down phase right now, but you want to know when like Supreme was at its peak in terms of popularity? What was it?
The Louis collab.
Right, but why is that? It brought them to the forefront of luxury brand shoppers.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, so like people, and again, these are people of influence, and again, that's a whole deeper rooted conversation of like, how social media and like how anyone could influence people to purchase things now. But if you actually take a look, right, and you're really into basketball, the runway of like NBA players, they not wearing Supreme right now.
That is true. They weren't really designer.
And that's what Supreme did. So you got like this boom of, oh wow, Supreme and designer. Now like, hey, well let me look at this Supreme. That's what like you take a look at someone like LeBron. Again, he's not, in my opinion, he don't got the influence, but like but like he'll go around wearing Supreme after that, and like it just brought them to the forefront of luxury brand shoppers, which then influences other people. And then, it's going to help people then buy Supreme. Now, hey, secondary market is a huge thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's a much smaller thing for clothing. It's huge for sneakers, right? We're at a point now where, like, you want to buy a shoe before it comes out. You're literally saying, how much is it going for? You're not even thinking if you're going to be able to buy it for retail. Every consumer is different.
Yeah.
But I think clothing is a little different. I think people feel weird about buying, the masses feel a little weird about buying secondhand clothing.
That's actually, to stay on that point, what's actually very accurate is that I think another reason why Supreme kind of like the hype died down a little bit is because its accessibility went down a lot.
Exactly. So
like
then
a lot.
And then so people who just would casually wear it because, they thought it was cool, they couldn't get it on drop. And again, I think buying clothes in the secondary market is still, the sneakers has become the norm. But again, when you think StockX, you're thinking shoes. I know StockX has tried to incorporate other products. They've tried to add in other things, other tabs on their business model. But I don't know, it's just not the same for Supreme. So I think that level of accessibility, and Supreme's whole business model is exclusivity.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's actually negatively impacted them now. But again, this ain't Supreme's first rodeo in doing this, right?
They literally a collab away.
Bro, a big collab away, getting right back to doing like what they do. You touched on a good point of like accessibility of clothes, but at the end of the day, fashion is literally just like supply and demand, right?
I think
the demand for Supreme is on the decline. But to be honest, bro, you talk about those years, I think 14, 15, 16, 17. Those were some weak years for Supreme too. Maybe not at this level. Yeah. But those were some pretty weak years too.
But what's different between today and 15, 16, 17 is that, fam, we're recording this in Boynton Beach, Florida, and Palm Beach. How many places can sell Supreme? I can tell you a couple. Relux, Headache, Impossible Kicks.
Yeah.
Freaking Cold Shoulder Kicks. There's literally 4 places I know where I can go walk in and buy a Supreme t-shirt. That was not happening in 15, 16, 17.
You're right about that, but at the end of the day, and I get it, like it's always easy, right, to compare Supreme to sneakers.
I'm just talking about just I can go somewhere and buy it.
No, I get what you're saying. Here's the point I'm gonna make. Is that somehow, some way, we've been able to kind of get consumers to pay a premium for sneakers. Where again, when I was in high school, it was literally like a collective of us that were in the shoes. Yeah. It's literally how me and Nick are best friends, because like we were in the sneakers, and now that's like common, right? If I see 12, 13, 14-year-old kid, they know what shoes I'm wearing. That obviously wasn't common. But we ain't got there with clothing yet. People gonna look at a t-shirt and say $200 for a t-shirt. Nah, but they'll pay $450 for the sneakers now, because, like I said, I think the whole point of there being a secondary market for sneakers has now blown that up. Where again, people are they're not looking at the retail cost of shoes anymore. Now it's the market cost of shoes. Clothing ain't there yet for the masses.
That's a really good point. And I think, not to go off on a whole nother topic, we'll definitely talk about this topic another time. I think that's what gives us more of a justification to buy stuff like Chrome Heart jeans or Gallery Department. Yeah. Because we just want to be exclusive. So at that point, the price doesn't matter at this point, because we just don't want to be like the regular nigga.
Bro, that's a whole nother topic. But literally, listen to this, bro. Streetwear, and again, it goes in different ways. But its whole model is based on exclusivity.
Pretty much, yeah.
Exclusivity.
Because money not even a thing anymore at this point.
No, it's just other people want it, so I'm gonna buy it. And that's where shoes was in that early 2010s. Now it's not. Now it's popular. Bro, I see people of all demographics, all ages buying shoes and knowing the prices of what shoes. There's going to be people watching this who can literally tell you what the market value is on all three of these shoes. But t-shirts, it's not there yet. It's not there yet for clothing. But I bet they know what the Supreme Nike's still going to sell out. At least when it's like not like something cap, like something weird. But like they come out with a Supreme Nike Dunk, it's still going to sell out.
Like all right, so getting into the topic, one of my favorite segments in the show, this is where I have the guests bring in a couple sneakers that kind of like shows a little bit of kind of explains like who they are, and just like sometimes they just bring some shoes just to be like have a conversation starter. So
Smart man.
obviously the man sitting across from me, I knew one of these sneakers was definitely going to be here. And you probably already know which one it is.
Yeah.
Just come on, let's pick it up, man.
Bro, come on, man. This is the best shoe of all time. I don't care what anyone says. Okay, listen. Listen. One, if you knew, you knew these was gonna be on here. Yeah. Shout out to my girl who bought me these, by the way. You know.
Oh, so that's the new one.
Yeah, that's the new one. I brought out the.
I haven't even seen.
No. It's got the right color.
I haven't seen these in person yet.
Nah, bro. Really, hey.
Whoa.
But to get into it,
the quality is way better than the 2017 one.
Yeah, bro. This is a good shoe.
Whoa.
But bro, this right here is the best sneaker of all time, and this is why I'm gonna say that. It's going on almost 30 years of it being out, and it's always been in fashion.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's just a regular. This was a running shoe, 97. This was made to be a running shoe, and I just think this has been a shoe that at no point could you have put this sneaker on, and you would have been out of the ways. The Air Max 1 had that time period. Mm-hmm. The Air Max 95 had that time period where like it wasn't hidden. To me, the shape of this model, just where it's been at, I don't know. The 3M, which I know, it might seem minuscule, but I don't know. I think this shoe was super futuristic. Came out in 97. We're coming up on 2027, 30 years later. And to me, this shoe is still it's still just super easy to wear, easy colorway. But I think this is the best shoe of all time.
Bro, literally, you're one of the people that actually made me want to get that sneaker. And like really quick on that shoe is that I think another reason why the Air Max 97 model does really good, region matters too. Because thinking about it, I'm from South Florida. Why would I wear a 95? It's a heavy sneaker. Sorry.
True.
But that's why the Air Max 97 in the 90s is going to suit me a little bit better because if when I got to be on the go, wear shorts, jeans, that's the go-to.
Bro, shorts, jeans, baggy pants, sweats. This shoe to me is so versatile. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say it's the best shoe. I know Chicago Jordan 1s. Like, don't get me wrong, those shoes are amazing. But I just look at the totality of this shoe. It's never had a down point in terms of like, wearing it in fashion. That's the point. Yeah, there's times where like you can go in the store and buy it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you put that shoe on in that time period of popular fashion, to me this shoe's always been in fashion. Because even things like the 3M make it cooler to the average person.
That's true. Like,
and
even with like a sneaker here that I'm actually a little bit surprised that you brought. This right here, the
protection pack. Protection pack again. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Nick. He bought me these. Almost all gifts here. No, I actually brought this shoe because this is actually the shoe I probably have worn the most since I've gotten it. But the main reason why I brought this shoe is because New Balance is super in right now.
Yeah,
it's super popular. But to me, this just being a New Balance 2002, which is like super dad shoe.
Very super.
But
dad.
I think these small things like just like having this suede and having it kind of creep over the seams. I don't know. This is just like the most modern version of a dad shoe, besides obviously the 700.
Yeah.
But I just took, this is a New Balance, but I think this is like a cool New Balance.
And I think what I like about what New Balance is doing right now is like they really, really getting into their influencer bag. Like
speak on it though,
bro. Like visionaries, like people like Joe Freshgoods.
But what's the most important part of that?
Influence.
But New Balance is investing a lot of money into black creatives.
That's a fact.
They're putting a lot of emphasis. Joe Freshgoods, Bricks and Wood. There's one or two more that I can't think of off top right now.
But one thing I would say about New Balance is that they don't take advantage of the black dollar. They value the black dollar.
No, they're smart and they're giving people an opportunity to create a shoe that would never get that opportunity. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna get that opportunity with Nike, Like they're not gonna get that opportunity even with Adidas. You got to be Adidas invests a lot into music into musical influences.
That's
You know,
true.
they invest a lot into Big Sean, Kanye. I think
Pharrell.
Tiana Taylor, Pusha T.
Yeah.
They do all that. You got to be
Bad Bunny.
But bro, you talk about influence and people who make clothes like Joe Freshgoods.
Yeah.
Like bro, they make clothing, and they're able to get their own shoe, which I think is really important. So shout out to New Balance, who's ever running the marketing or like the influencer department there.
They killing it.
Got to be a brother. He's doing, he's giving people good opportunity, which is also boosting their brand, which is why I think New Balance is doing really good. But it's also giving creatives an opportunity to boost themselves as well.
That's a fact. So one sneaker here that you definitely brought that is a heavy conversation starter is definitely got to be the Air Jordan 1 reimagined Chicago Air Jordan with the lost and found.
Right. Yeah. Chicago 1. Some people gonna say it's the best shoe of all time. It's an amazing shoe. I brought this on because one, to me, is shoe of the year 2022. I just think it was really well done. I just think the concept behind it was really, really well done.
Yeah.
I like the idea of just we touched base on it earlier, right? Some people are gonna look at shoes coming out and dislike it because it changes. But I like those small changes because it introduces these shoes to new generations in new ways.
Yeah.
This is gonna teach the lore and the history to a kid who's buying these shoes for the first time. He'll probably know more about when these shoes came out in 1984. They're gonna learn that. I thought the box was cool. Now, hey, would I have just wanted a regular Chicago 1? To be honest, yeah. But at the same time, I think this is really cool. And I think stuff like this just differentiates the pairs, which I also think is important. Like, if they just bring out the same shoe every 5 years, to me, that's boring. I actually think the shoe will be less attractive if you just bring out the same shoe every few years. Like, to me, that's not fun. This makes it fun. And if I had a 2015 pair, it would increase my love for that one if I preferred that one better. And again, that way everyone, because I'm gonna be honest, bro, I've had some sneakers that I loved, and then they came out again like retro, and I was pissed. I was like, dang, bro, like now my pair ain't
Aqua 8s.
bro. Now my pair ain't special. Well, bro, stuff like this to me is cool.
And when the quality is done decent too.
Bro, and that's a big part. People talk about shattered backboard 1s, which has some cool lore to it because like Jordan was wearing it and he broke a backboard. That was cool.
Yeah.
But people talk about that shoe because of the quality.
It's a luxury sneaker at that.
Bro, at this point, like, bro, think about it. That shoe didn't have quality. Bro, they did 4 iterations of it, and they only did that because of we only talk about it because of the quality. But I do want to say that I just think this was a really, really well done shoe. Jordan Brand could have just came out with regular Chicago 1s. They did some different stuff, which I think I honestly think was really, really cool.
It's not every day where it's like I'm gonna have someone that used to manage a sneaker store, a corporate sneaker store. I know that's kind of probably a blip in your life at this point.
Nah, bro, it was a really important time in my life, man. I love that time in my life, to be honest. Like, yeah, looking back, I mean, I wasn't making no money and like, looking back, but bro, that was a really fun time, bro. I've been into shoes, bro, since I was a child. Like, didn't have any money for it, and this is the same old story for everybody. I didn't have any money for it. My dad couldn't. But like, honestly, bro, reading East Bay magazines. I don't know why I was into shoes, bro. Really have no idea. We would get East Bay magazines. I look at them, and I got into shoes at a really early age, bro. Asking my dad to buy me and everyone's going to cap and say, oh, I wanted my dad to buy me a 3s, bro. There were some Team Jordans. I didn't know no better, to be honest. Like, bro, I don't know no better. But I just was really into shoes, and I've created some great connections with some great people through sneakers, bro. My best friend, bro, my little brother, is because of shoes. So like that time period, bro, where I got to manage a shoe store, to me was like enjoyable.
You managed Finishline, which is, I know, is like not one of the most popular corporate sneaker stores today. I really think it's probably Foot Locker.
I mean, Foot Locker's got it on lock because like the branding, the referee uniforms, like
exactly, like it's literally like the meme
yeah. But
sneaker employee.
Finishline gotta be what, number 2, maybe number 3 to Champs?
Yeah, for sure. So what was it like managing like a sneaker store, especially like around the time? Like what time did you manage or work at Finishline?
Bro, I got hired I think late 2011 or 2012. But no, it was like late 2012, I think. Cause I worked at Liz before with my guy Jordan. And late 2012, I got hired in the finish line, and yeah, worked through. I got hired as a holiday seasonal employee.
That's usually everyone's foot in the door,
bro. And then I ended up staying there, and man, I ended up becoming an assistant manager after some time, and then I was a store manager in training, and then I managed for a little bit. You could really break up those times. Everyone who would know me from working at Finish Line is gonna know me when I was probably a store manager in training, and they call it MIT.
Okay, so if I have to ask you, so it can give a people like around a time frame when you were a manager, what was one sneaker that came out of your store that was really big at the time?
Oh, bro, all the 11s every year.
So this is going into
Red
like
11,
Concord 2011. No, not that.
No,
early,
not
that
Concord.
Early. So it would be like Gamma 11 maybe.
Gamma, Gamma, bro.
That was the hood classic right there.
7210. I don't remember if I was there for Bread though, but I think the last one I did was might have been. I don't remember if I was there for Space Jam either. To be honest, bro, it was so many shoes.
Wait, did you had to be working at Finish Line around the Galaxy Pack, right, or no?
I think Galaxy Pack came out All-Star 2012. So I got hired later in 2012.
Got it. Okay.
Galaxy Pack came out like February 2012. So no, I hadn't been working there yet.
Got it. So what was it like managing? Like I know what as far as like because I don't know if people know like because I worked at Foot Action for about like 4.5 years, and it's a lot different when you work in a corporate sneaker store and working in like a resale shop.
Bro, of course. Bro, you walk into a resale shop, you like hanging out with your homeboys. Like, bro,
exactly.
You know
but people don't realize that when I go into these consignment stores, they don't know what the hell customer service is.
That's a fact. And
bro. Another thing is too, like people who work at, even in my opinion, people who work at sneaker stores, retail or consignment, you still don't know how to actually sell to somebody. Because where I learned how to sell is like when I actually started working in jewelry. Because I realized, bro, when you work at a sneaker store, the sneaker kind of sells itself at the end of the day. Because you can't force someone to buy a shoe they have no interest buying.
That's a fact. Yeah, just to touch base, as you know, man, customer service is the most important thing. You know, real quick, you'll talk about like round two. Round two blew up because of the friendly environment that they created in their stores,
service.
Bro. That customer experience is like the most important thing. You only get one opportunity to impress a customer. So like, yeah, I've been in stores where like, bro, I'm never coming back here. Exactly. And you got to think about it. I might be shopping that first time. I might just be looking, but bro, you give me a good customer experience. If I need something that your store sells, I'm gonna go to your store. So that stuff is important, bro. Managing it on a corporate level, I got to understand the sneaker just industry in general really, really well. Because bro, I cared about my store performance. I cared about what I did.
I mean, gave a fuck,
bro. Yeah, bro. Like at the time, like, bro, I want to do that forever with sneakers. Like I took it really seriously, bro.
Yeah.
And anyone who knows me, if I care about something, bro, I get like super locked into it. And so like I got to learn the ins and outs, and that's why I could break down a sneaker. And we are talking about black toe lows earlier, and I'm like, I can examine of like, okay, well, I can understand why these things would be done based on Nike's business model. Sometimes they do a collab just to keep the brand relevant. So like, nah, man, it was a really, really. I had a really, really good time, bro. I have no regrets about any of that time period, bro. I literally thoroughly enjoyed my time period, bro. Managing a shoe store. To me, it was like as corny as it sounds, it was a dream, bro. Because like I've been in the shoes my whole life. I remember asking the manager when I was 16, bro, I need a job, and like end up getting hired there and end up managing that store.
Yeah, it's almost like a full circle.
And bro, like I said, man, it was really cool. Like, bro, that store would get again, I don't know about it now. But that store would get so many more Jordans than you guys would understand. Like so many. It was a top 50 Jordan seller in the nation.
Bro, like all right, so unfortunately that we're kind of winding down on this part of the episode. This episode felt like it went by for 5 minutes. But I have to ask you a question for sure. Okay, so literally the people haven't really seen you on social like that. You were literally, because everyone knows like this guy, like you were known for designing clothing, always posting on the gram, being very like consistent on YouTube. You were making fashion content before it was really like heavily popular at the time. Then you took a break, and then so I wanted to ask you, as you were like basically quote unquote adulting, and you weren't literally, you were technically adulting.
That's a funny way to word it.
You're maturing.
Hey, bro, however you want. Yeah,
you're
man.
maturing. So I have to ask you, because like you used to design clothes, and you kind of just like went off the grid to start doing your own thing. That's how some people are gonna view it.
Of course, bro. Yeah.
So I have to ask you, what kept your interest into sneakers and fashion during the time you weren't really out in the light, like selling clothes, making clothes?
Yeah. No, that was that's a really, really good question, bro. Really, really good question. The simplest way I can put it, like, one is just it's genuine passion. I didn't do it because I wanted to make money. I just genuinely liked it, bro. It was just genuine passion. And just keeping up to date, like, bro. What keeps me going now is like I want to invest into the Black community as much as I can. And anyone that knows me, like, back, especially with the time period you're talking about, like, bro, my favorite brand of all time was Kith. I love the idea of telling stories through clothing, and I feel like Kith encapsulates that really, really well. To this day, bro, some of the stuff I see, I'm like, man, that's so cool how you put all that together.
And I gotta give you some leeway because he was just talking about Black-owned brands this whole episode. Now he's gonna talk about Kith.
hey, we gotta acknowledge.
You gotta acknowledge
greatness, bro. At the end of the day, like, the reason I say that is because at that time, I'm not saying that that's what I wear now. I haven't bought anything from Kith in a really long time.
Hey, man, I still buy something from Kith.
Bro, but yeah, like, you gotta acknowledge what someone's doing well, and then you make it your own. But I say that, bro, because, like, there's so many cool Black-owned brands, bro, and I really look forward to being on here and showing y'all some brands that y'all had no idea, some stuff that's similar to Kith, some stuff, of just genuine streetwear to kind of show off some Black-owned brands, because that's really what I do now.
So that's really what, like, kind of kept you in the loop of, like, just seeing all these Black-owned brands flourish, and then you're
that's what kept it interesting to me. Like, now, like, I'm trying to do, like, to be honest, if I'm buying clothes now, especially if I go into a store, I'm buying like some executive, like, I got to get my button down right, my suits right. Like, I've been trying to invest more in that for, like, the stuff that I have to go to on a daily basis, meetings. Yeah. But if I'm buying, like, street, like, to be honest, the clothes I'm buying all my stuff online because I'm buying and investing into these, like, Black-owned businesses, and that means so much to me, bro. Investing into the Black community, because, like, to me, where you spend your money is, like, the most important thing. Like, if we wanted to cancel a brand, we could cancel them. Just don't buy it no more.
Just don't buy it, really.
Bro, that brand would be done, right? 2020, I don't want to get off on a serious note, but when the George Floyd thing happened, everyone started talking about, that's when, like, Black-owned thing became a bigger deal, right? Now you go on Uber Eats, there's a Black-owned section. That happened post George Floyd, and because brands felt like they had to do something for the Black community. Bro, they didn't want to lose your money. So where you spend your money matters, bro. Spend your money with brands that align with your vision, align with what you like. So I just try to invest in the Black community, bro. Yeah, and I get to do it on streetwear fashion. I get to do it on things I like. Of course, man. Like I said, like, like even Kanye, the Black-owned, like that's a Black-owned brand, you know, even, on a level like that. So I think that's what kind of kept it going into this stage of my life. I'll always be into it, but now it's a different level. Now I'm more passionate about it. Like, before, I could walk into Kith and say, oh, I like this, I like that. Oh, this is dope, this is hard. Now it's like, bro, not only is this hard, but I'm get to show people brands that would have never got, like, bro, like, would have never seen it. And then 2, there's that level of connection that I have, that I get to say, oh yeah, like, bro, like, this is a Black-owned business, and that's what kind of kept me going, bro. But that passion's always gonna be there. So I'm gonna be a cool dad, bro. I'm gonna be a cool dad always.
Yo,
bro.
This has been definitely one of my favorite episodes, bro. I want to say, Ant, I appreciate you for coming on the show. This is definitely for sure not going to be your last time coming on the show. So wait, if you want the people to find you, where can the people find you? If you want them to find you,
y'all see me, man. It's all good. If you look, you'll find.
Got it.
Yeah,
you'll see him again.
Yeah.
You'll see him again.
Yeah, you'll see me.
Once again, I appreciate my guy for coming on the show. Definitely, he definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things in fashion, and this is definitely, I kind of give you some of the credit for, like, you definitely helped me find a new taste, find a new love for fashion in a different way, because you definitely, like, one of the people that got me into, like, thrifting and stuff, and putting.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing.
And putting in outfits together.
I still thrift. I'm still going thrift too, bro. Because, bro, there's that level of like not impact influence, but you thrift something, you're like, oh, this is dope. Like I've never seen it. Like, bro, I've gotten into textured shirts because of thrifting.
Bro, trust me, we gonna get into it,
Bro.
we
Bro,
gonna get
thrift,
into it, dog.
Like to this day, I still go thrifting. Like I'm always gonna go thrifting. I don't care. You'll catch me in a thrift store.
Of course, man. Trust me, we will have a whole episode talking about thrifting because that's like a different bag we'll get into. But I go by the name of Gary, aka In Gary We Trust. You guys can catch me here. You can catch me in my other podcast. These are the Aesthetics. And yeah, this has been another episode of Sneaker Convo. I'll see y'all next time.
Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Take care, man. Later.